we're going to go ahead and let them show their hardware. And if you'll take questions to the players, you can go ahead and then we'll catch up with Coach Mooney.
I'll give Coach the already sent one.
Oh. Okay. Questions? Yes, microphone.
Hey, Brandon, the last a minute and a half or so, Richmond got 3 old-school three-point plays. I wonder if the idea was there, drive the ball in, get fouled behind a little bit, or just worked out that way?
Yeah. To be honest with you, I can't wait to watch the last 2 minutes of the game. I kind of blacked out there. I don't really remember a lot of what was going on. But, Tyler Burton turned into a menace there at the end for us. He had a rough game, 2 early fouls. And Matt Grace can do no wrong. Matt Grace can do no wrong.
I was going to ask, you shook him by the lapels after his three-point play. What did you say to him?
Make this free throw. Make this free throw. That was it.
Questions for the players? Right here in the front.
Fellas, Aaron Robertson, All Facts Media. That's what you guys came back for, man. I mean, talk about what it means to accomplish that goal.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, when we decided to come back, we knew we had unfinished business, and that was kind of our motto for the whole year. Words can't really describe what this game and this tournament means to me, and I'd imagine it's the same for the rest of our teammates. But to be able to do this with Nick, Nate, Grant, and myself, guys that came in together and have been playing together for so long, just means the world to me. Those are my brothers. Not just them 1 through 20. I died for those guys.
Gentleman with his hand up on the aisle here. Oh, John, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, Jacob, could you just follow up on that line? And why did the Spiders turn it on here after such an uneven regular season?
I wish I could tell you. I wish we could have went however many games we played. I wish we wouldn't have lost. But at the end of the day, this is what matters the most. We had a goal in mind and we got there.
Now go ahead, sir.
Sam Basilhouse, Enterprise. Question for either of you. Yesterday, I asked Coach Mooney about the trust that you guys have built amongst each other. With your long careers, for college players. Could you talk about that trust that you have amongst yourselves and your teammates, and how that's carried you through big moments in this tournament?
Obviously being together for so long, I think that trust sort of goes throughout the team. Especially with the 5 seniors, with everything we know what each of us is going to bring to the table every night. But I think it's just more of a reliability thing. We've been through so many games and seen so many different things throughout our time here. We can rely on each other and know that we're going to be able to do it when it comes down to it, whatever that may be. I sort of told the guys, before we came here, it was going to take 1 through 20, whether you played 40 minutes or 0 minutes. We all had to rely on each other, and everybody had a job to do, and everybody came down here this week and did that job.
On the back row, go ahead, sir.
Ron Bailey, Rivals.com for Jacob. You came out like gangbusters, not only getting buckets, but controlling the tempo. Was that in part due to not wanting to fall behind these guys? Davidson, you didn't, sometimes you guys came out with a lull and had to come back. Not today so much. Were you really motivated not to get behind early?
Yeah, I think we wanted to set a tone early for sure. But for me personally, I think as a team we're a lot better when I'm aggressive. All year I had heard about Foster Lawyer, Yuri Collins, Kyle Lofton, Ace Baldwin, guys like that. So I came to this tournament with a chip on my shoulder for sure.
Go ahead, sir. Third row.
So you guys came back in all 4 of the games in this tournament. So can you just kind of talk about the resilience of the group and kind of what helped you mount all those comebacks?
Yeah. Obviously we dug ourselves a big hole the opening night against Rhode Island, and we were sort of able to pull ourselves out of it. But I think, honestly, the 3 games that we had tonight really built up to the one today. That's sort of what the guys in the huddle were preaching from the 8-minute mark and under. We had played in 3 close games already this week. They hadn't played in any. So we felt like if we kept it close, we were going to be able to pull it out in the end, and we did.
Sir, can you hand the mic to the gentleman behind you? Go ahead, sir.
question for Grant and Jacob. What does it mean for you guys to wrap up your career, just to get to the big dance? This was a dream that you guys had. You came back this year. What's the satisfaction of getting 40 more minutes, at least, with these guys?
Yeah, no, I mean, words wouldn't do it justice. It's like it feels like it's almost like fake. It's so surreal. This is what we came back for. You know what I mean? Obviously, it wasn't glitter and rainbows throughout the year, throughout the 4 years that we were here, 5 years we were here. But to get to the big dance, that was the ultimate goal. Nobody can call me a loser ever again. You know what I mean? I'm a winner.
Go ahead, sir.
David Driver for Grant. Just for you personally, what are some of the things you weighed in terms of coming back? Did you consider not coming back, and what was that process like?
Yeah, there were a lot of things going on. Obviously, the season for everybody last year was super crazy with the COVID and quarantine and all that kind of stuff. There was a lot of off the court stuff that I really had to think about. But I think there was sort of a feeling amongst all of us that if one of us decided to come back, the rest of us were. And I don't know who the first one was. I think it was probably Jacob that sort of had decided that he was going to come back, and the dominoes just sort of fell from there. I think it just really came back to, what we were talking about a little bit earlier, just being with each other for so long, having that camaraderie and everything, and just wanting to come back and get to this moment.
In the back row, go ahead.
Grant, you have a renowned family structure, a lot of support. You might not have seen it, but your brother was crying today. Talk about how good is it to have that much love, that much support behind you and everything you do? Yeah, it's awesome. I told you yesterday, in terms of the people that I've had in my basketball career, I've been super lucky. But my family is unbelievable. I know they've been waiting for this moment for us just as long as I have. To have my brother here in the building, I think this is his maybe third college game that he's been to. I played 150 some now, and this is his third one that he's been able to be at. So the fact that he's here and I get to share this moment with him is truly unbelievable.
In the blue sweater, go ahead, sir.
John Titel from HoopsHD.com for Grant. As a freshman back in 2016, you collapsed during a game, missed the rest of the season with an irregular heartbeat. Did you think 5 years later that this day was possible? And I know it's cheesy, but what emotions are you feeling in your heart today?
Yeah, so I'll sort of give you a long-winded answer here. So like you said, I collapsed there on the court. National television, got carried out on a stretcher. Unfortunately, I had to watch those guys lose to VCU that year in the tournament as a freshman in a polo. Came back next year, we were super young, had a super tough year, lost 20 games. Came back the next year with some positivity, ready to go. Nick tears his ACL, 6, 7 games in, whatever it is, and we lose another 20. Everybody comes back, sticks with it. Best record in school history. Everything that we ever wanted to accomplish, everything right in front of us, and COVID happens. And then obviously last year was super tough for everyone. So I don't think anybody from the outside looking in truly understands what this group has been through. If you haven't been in that locker room and you haven't been here the last couple years and have been through the ups and the downs, and certainly have been a lot of downs, you truly don't know what this moment feels like.
Other questions for the players? Right here.
Jacob, you had a little exchange before the game with the Davidson fan, talking about the average age of your team, and then you proceeded to score 26 from that point on. I mean, obviously you were already motivated and confident, but talk about that exchange and what it kind of.
I'm not gonna say what I said back to him, but I wouldn't be me if I didn't say something. The team knows that I like to joke around. I talked a little back to him, but he said I was 30, so my goal was to go out there and score 30. I got pretty close, but at the end of the day, it was just about the win.
Final questions for the players. Gentlemen, we'll let you go back and celebrate some more. Congratulations. Best of luck in the dance. Okay, now questions. Let's let Coach Mooney make his opening statement first, gentlemen. Let's do that, okay?
Thank you. Well, obviously, I'm thrilled and so happy for our team. all 20 players and the coaches, managers, but especially the 6 seniors who came back. I think it's such a unique story and will continue to be unique as college basketball, trends toward so many transfers and guys changing teams. So I don't think this story could be told enough. I don't think we could promote the story enough. And for them to, realize our dreams with a championship today is very special, means a lot to me, and means a lot to all of the Richmond community.
Yes, question. John, go ahead. Oh, go ahead. We'll take his first. Go ahead, sir.
Dave Preston, WTOP Radio in Washington. Congratulations.
Thank you.
The start that you guys had, what was the key to getting off to such a strong start, especially against a team with the firepower of Davidson?
Yeah, it's interesting. Generally, well, let me say this. I couldn't have more respect for any program. I think they're probably as close to a perfect program as you could be. I think that if you had to study how to run a basketball program, that's where you would start. I just think the world of how they do everything and the way they play is both beautiful and tough. And we've had some incredible games with Davidson. We've had some beautiful, picturesque games with Davidson. There are usually low turnovers. There's a tremendous amount of skill on the court. And I think with both teams, because we're fairly fluid, skillful teams, what gets lost is the toughness and the competitiveness and the grit. And they certainly have a ton of it with all of their players. And we have a great deal of it as well. So we haven't started games very fast for the most part this year. And so the original point of the question was we've generally scored against Davidson, and they've scored against us. The game at the Robins Center this year was 87-84. And the games have been more high scoring, and again, because the shot making and shooting and precision and passing and all those things. Today, I thought, wow, we're going to get up and down and go. But aside from that stretch and the beginning of the second half where there were a ton of points scored, there weren't many. So it was great to start the game well, just for us. We have not started the games very well from a score standpoint most of the season. And so for us, it built some confidence.
John, go ahead.
Coach Mooney, you had 3 and 1s there in the last 122, I think. Was the idea to drive it? You were down 6 and try to pick up a foul.
It was. They switched an awful lot tonight, more than I necessarily remember in the past. Switching enables you to take away the team's edge and immediately, but then you're matched up with guys who you necessarily. And so when we had those, that was what we talked about, is let's drive the ball in there. We feel like we have speed, ability to go in there and drive. And so that was something that we really specifically tried to do. And it was obviously very, who had Tyler had 2?
Grace.
Matty Grace, big time. Matty Grace, incredible.
Right here, yes, go ahead.
Coach, your team is the 7th program in the past 7 Atlantic 10 tournaments to win the championship. What does that say about this competing in this conference, and what does that say about your team this year?
Yeah, that's amazing, right? Well, the conference it's an extremely high-level conference. We just beat, I believe, in the last 3 days, we beat top 50 teams, three top 55 teams, say, right? Well, I don't know if Duke had to do that through the ACC tournament, So the league is tremendous, and what is very striking to me as someone who's been in the league for a long time is how committed everybody is. I thought the coach who did the best job in the conference tournament was Matt McCall, and he's not going to be at UMass anymore. David Cox is a heck of a coach and a really good man, and not going to be there anymore, and it's because of the pressure to win. Because you have guys like Coach McKillop and Mike Rhodes, and Anthony Grant was the National Coach of the Year. I'm sure Coach McKillop's been the National Coach of the Year. It's just such a high level of players' ability, coaching ability, and commitment on the 14 schools' part. That it's really something very impressive, and that's probably I wish we got more teams in because we would go to the NCAA tournament, but I would be, it's very hard if the conference tournament champ and we're getting one or two other bids. That's hard because this is a really, really great league.
Now in the second row, go ahead, sir.
Chris, there's a lot of numbers you associate with Jacob. The one that's kind of striking to me is 40 minutes pretty much every day.
Hopefully.
Was that the plan coming in, and what would it have taken for him to be out of a game with what was at stake?
Yeah, there was. I mean, we would have had to be up an awful lot. I think the fans who were so great today would have fainted if Jacob was subbed out. I was going to try to do it, just for 2 seconds, but yeah, he's able to play that amount of time. In this tournament particularly, he scored a ton. He controlled the whole tournament. Is the fact of the matter, and was able to do that without coming off the court one time.
In the back, and then let's get the mic up here to this gentleman.
Their number least struggled, but their number 3, I thought, compensated for that. What was your approach to both of those guys? And then number 2, how did you tamp down on 3 who you lost a couple times in the second half for 3-pointers?
A coach's nightmare is when you say, hey, we're going to leave this guy a little bit open, and then he's 4 for 4 from 3. That doesn't seem fair, right? He played great, Menenga. He's a good player. I mean, they're all terrific, and that was our game plan, was that the guy who was guarding, whether it be Menenga or the other guy at the 4, Bochi Yidam, that we would help a little bit more on all the curls and the cuts, and he made us pay for it. I mean, that was really impressive, really impressive. I thought we generally did a good job defending, because Lee's a big-time scorer and player, and Lawyer's a big-time scorer and player, and Menenga really made us pay by making those threes.
In the front, go ahead.
Aaron Robertson, All Facts Media. 2 quick ones, Coach. First, you talked about just kind of defending them. Obviously, your offense is a little similar with the split actions and stuff like that. I mean, how much, you guys have now won 8 of your last 11 games against them. I mean, how much does that kind of help you guys when you defend a team like Davidson that's so hard to prepare for?
Yeah, that's a good question. The teams are similar, and it comes down to mostly there's just passing, and I watch Davidson, and they have a pattern, but the players make all the decisions within the pattern, and then it's similar to us, although the pattern's different. So I think in a way it helps because when we're scrimmaging, you're not defending a particular play or pattern. You're defending the other guys on your team's decision. And so that's what you have to do here, even though the pattern's different. You have to make those, you have to just continue to guard what his decision is. And they're so good at it, it makes it hard. But having guarded ourselves so often, we probably do have maybe a little bit of an advantage over other teams.
Give a quick follow-up.
And then obviously, you guys, this is going to be your 3rd tournament now at Richmond. And just given everything you guys have gone through over the last few years, does this one feel any sweeter than the other 2?
Yeah. Yeah, it feels great right now. I would say, John, it'd be a good idea to call this team the Comeback Kids, a little play on words. But 2 years ago, we would have been in, and that's probably my most vivid memory is telling our guys in the Brooklyn hotel that the tournament was canceled, having put ourselves in position to go to the NCAAs. That was really, really, really difficult. And we're in that year, we were in a 1 seed in the NIT, a 2 seed in the NIT. It's hard to get to the point where you're on the bubble if you're in our conference. It's hard to be, a casual fan might see last 4 in, first 4 out, and it seems like, oh, they need to make a move. And, you're sitting there at, 23-5, and so it's really challenging. So, yes, it's very sweet to go. But we've been knocking on the door and very close very often.
Last question. Here's.
When you won 3 in 3 days last time, 2011, you didn't just make the NCAA tournament, you made the Sweet 16. I understand it was a long time ago and you can't compare teams, but...
Grant was a sophomore.
Do you take any lessons in terms of the preparation or the scouting or the momentum in terms of what it takes to go from here to keep going?
I do. I think... I think we'll be prepared. It's funny, knowing our team's going to be called, knowing we're going to play, I'm assuming we'll be a 12 or an 11 seed, so we'll play one of the top 25 teams in the country. I just hope we play Friday. You know, we've played 4 games in 4 days, and I think there are only 3 championships today or 4 championship games today. I would really hope that we play Friday. That's my only hope. But yeah, I think we'll have good preparation. You know, dealing with the media is a big part of it because you can get somewhat distracted. Got our man Jason Vito will help us with that, and yeah, we'll try to get back and get some rest and celebrate tonight.
Coach, congratulations to you and your team. Good luck in the
Thank you.
the big dance.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
And to all
Thank
of our
you.
teams that get a call tonight. And we'll look forward to seeing everybody next year in Brooklyn.